The signal from the void. The stars appeared as distant pinpricks against the vast emptiness of space as Commander Elena Voss stood at the observation deck of the exploration vessel Horizon. Her weathered face reflected in the reinforced glass while she contemplated their latest survey mission. Exploration duty was crucial, but often uneventful. This was their fifth empty star system in a row. "Commander, we've completed the scan of the third planet," Lieutenant Ramos reported from his station. "Same story as the others. Just rocks, ice, and trace elements. Nothing worth establishing a research outpost for." Voss nodded without turning. "Prepare the jump drive. We'll report back to Central Command and—" A sharp, rhythmic beeping interrupted her. Communications specialist Maya Chen sat up straight at her console, her fingers flying across the holographic interface. "Commander, I'm receiving a signal," Chen announced, her voice tight with concentration. "It's not human in origin." The bridge fell silent. First contact scenarios were rare these days. Humanity had ventured into the stars for over 80 years and encountered only 4 other species, none in the last decade. "Can you isolate it?" Voss asked, moving to Chen's station. "Working on it. The pattern is unusual, definitely artificial, but unlike anything in our databases." The signal played through the bridge speakers, a series of harmonic tones interspersed with static bursts that seemed to follow a mathematical sequence. "There are coordinates embedded within the transmission," Chen said after running it through the ship's advanced decryption matrix. "It's pointing to a system approximately 3 light jumps from here, uncharted territory. Protocol dictated they should report back to Earth Command before investigating unknown signals, especially those originating from outside mapped space. But something about the transmission's pattern suggested urgency." "How long to reach those coordinates?" Voss asked. "Approximately 18 hours at maximum jump capacity," replied Navigator Jackson. Lieutenant Ramos cleared his throat. "Commander, regulations clearly state that." "I know the regulations, Lieutenant," Voss cut him off. "But if that's a distress call, every hour could matter. Set course for those coordinates, but prepare defensive systems and keep us at a cautious distance upon arrival." The Horizon emerged from jump space 18 hours later, systems humming as they approached a binary star system with 9 orbiting planets. The signal grew stronger, originating from the 4th planet, a blue-green world with 2 small moons. "Life signs detected on the 4th planet," Science Officer Dr. Eliza Wong reported. "Civilization readings consistent with Type IO development, approximately 2 centuries ahead of Earth in some technologies, behind in others." As they entered orbit, they spotted the source of the transmission, a damaged vessel drifting above the planet's atmosphere. Its design was elegant and flowing, with organic curves suggesting a merging of technology and biological elements. "The signal is clearer now," Chen said. "Our translation matrix is decoding it. It's definitely a distress call, something about the darkness that consumes worlds and void entities." "Any life signs aboard?" Voss asked. 3 faint readings," Wong confirmed. "Extremely weak." Voss made her decision. "Prepare a boarding team. Dr. Wong, Lieutenant Ramos, you're with me. Full environment suits and standard protocols." The alien vessel's interior was dimly lit by emergency lighting that pulsed in a slow, rhythmic pattern. The corridors curved organically, as though grown rather than constructed. After navigating through sections of the ship damaged by what appeared to be weapons fire, they'd reached what seemed to be the command center. 3 beings were inside, their bodies slender with iridescent blue-green skin. They had 4 upper limbs and elongated heads with large, multifaceted eyes. One lay motionless while another tended to the third, who was clearly injured. The uninjured alien noticed the humans and froze momentarily before raising 2 of its hands in what seemed a universal gesture of peace. "We come to help," Voss said, knowing her words wouldn't be understood, but hoping her tone would convey their intentions. Dr. Wong activated their portable translator, which had been processing the distress signal during their approach. It wasn't perfect, but might facilitate basic communication. The alien spoke, a series of melodic chirps and clicks that the translator struggled with before producing. You answer call. Too late for many. The void comes. Who are you? Voss asked. We are Marins, came the translation. I am Sentinel Ilurva. My world burns. The harvesters awakened from long sleep. They consume. They destroy. They move onward. Dr. Wong scanned the injured Marin. Commander, this one needs immediate medical attention. Their physiology is complex, but our medical bay might be able to stabilize them. Can we transport them safely? Voss asked. Wong nodded. I believe so. Ilurva spoke again, more urgently. No time. The void harvesters follow transmission paths. They detected our signal. They come here now. As if summoned by those words, the ship shuddered violently. Lieutenant Ramos' communicator crackled with Navigator Jackson's voice. Commander, 3 unknown vessels just appeared near the planet's moon. They're unlike anything we've ever seen, and they're heading straight for your position. We need to leave now, Voss decided. We're bringing the survivors with us. Prepare the horizon for emergency departure. As they helped the Marins to their extraction point, Voss caught a glimpse through a viewport of what pursued them. The vessels were massive, black angular structures that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Their surfaces rippled with what looked like technological growths, giving them the appearance of mechanical predators. What are they? Voss asked Ilurva as they hurried toward the shuttle. Ancient, older than any known civilization. They hibernate between feeding cycles, thousands of years. When they wake, they harvest worlds of resources, energy, technology, life force. My people discovered their awakening site. We were first. You will be next. The shuttle detached from the dying Marin vessel just as energy beams from the pursuing ships tore through its hull. The horizon maneuvered to recover them, shields barely deflecting the attackers' weapons. Jump drives at maximum. Voss ordered as they reached the bridge. Get us back to Earth space. The ship shuddered as the jump engines engaged, narrowly escaping as the void harvester vessels converged on their position. The emergency had only begun, and humanity remained unaware of the darkness heading their way. 3 days later, the horizon limped into Earth's defensive perimeter, trailing energy discharge from damaged systems. Voss stood before the United Earth Defense Council, her uniform still bearing scorch marks from their narrow escape. The survivors we rescued confirm our worst fears, she explained to the assembled military and civilian leaders. These void harvesters have destroyed 17 Marin worlds in the past 3 months. Their technology exceeds our current capabilities, and according to the Marins, they follow resource-rich worlds in a predictable pattern. Admiral Harrison Chen, head of Earth's Defense Forces, studied the data displayed on the central holographic projection. And you believe Earth is in their path. Ilurva, now recovered enough to attend the meeting, stepped forward. Your world rich in elements they seek. Your colonies already detected. The pattern is clear. They will come for you within 1 lunar cycle. Counselor Rivera from the Science Division raised her hand. With respect, how do we know this isn't an elaborate deception? The Marins could be using us for their own purposes. The attack on my ship was no deception, Voss replied firmly. And the analysis of the Marin vessel's damage matches perfectly with the weapons signatures we recorded. These threats are real, and they're coming. Before anyone could respond, an officer rushed into the chamber. Admiral, we've lost contact with Proxima Colony. Last transmission reported unknown vessels entering their system. The room fell silent. Proxima Colony was humanity's first extrasolar settlement, home to over 12,000 people. Admiral Chen's expression hardened. Counselors, I recommend we activate Defense Protocol Omega. Gasps echoed through the chamber. Protocol Omega had been established after the Resource Wars, the authorization to deploy Earth's secret fleet. While officially, Earth maintained only a modest defense force as part of post-war treaties, the reality was different. Hidden within asteroid bases and concealed lunar facilities were hundreds of advanced warships, kept ready but hidden from public knowledge. The treaties, one counselor began, will mean nothing if humanity is extinct, Chen finished. Commander Voss, given your experience with these entities, I'm granting you field command of Battle Group Sentinel. Your mission is to gather intelligence on our enemy and coordinate our defensive strategy. Voss stood straighter. Yes, Admiral. As the meeting adjourned, Voss found herself staring out at Earth below, blue, beautiful, and unaware of the threat approaching from the darkness of space. Ilirva joined her at the viewport. Your people prepare for war, the alien observed. We've faced extinction before, Voss replied. Humanity doesn't surrender easily. The harvesters have never encountered your kind, Ilirva said. Perhaps that will make a difference. Within days, humanity's hidden shipyards activated. Massive hangar doors built into Earth's moon slid open for the first time in decades. Inside were rows of battleships, destroyers, and carriers, hundreds of vessels kept in perfect condition, waiting for the day they might be needed. The signal from the void had been answered, and humanity was preparing to show the darkness exactly what they were capable of when threatened. Humanity unleashed. The massive battle cruiser Defiance hung in space near Jupiter's orbit, its kilometer-long hull bristling with weapon systems and sensor arrays. On the bridge, Commander Elena Voss studied the tactical display with Ilirva at her side. Battle Group Sentinel, consisting of the Defiance, 4 destroyers, and 6 fast attack frigates, represented humanity's first line of defense against the approaching threat. The harvester vessels follow predictable patterns, Ilirva explained, indicating movement trajectories on the display. They prioritize resource-rich targets, draining each location before moving to the next, which puts Europa colony directly in their path, Voss concluded grimly. The research settlement on Jupiter's moon had been established to study the subsurface ocean. It now housed over 5,000 scientists and support personnel. Evacuation status, Voss asked Lieutenant Ramos, who had joined her from the horizon. 60% complete, Commander. We need another 12 hours for full evacuation. The harvesters will arrive in 9, Ilirva stated with certainty. Voss tapped her command console. Then we give the colonists those 12 hours, all ships to combat readiness. Deploy sensor drones to these coordinates. I want early warning when they arrive. Dr. Wong, now serving as Voss's science advisor, approached with a data tablet. Commander, I've been analyzing the Marin data on harvester technology. Their ships appear to utilize some form of quantum energy absorption. They literally feed on energy directed at them, which explains why the Marin weapons were ineffective. So our energy weapons would just make them stronger, Voss realized. Precisely. But I've been working with Engineer Harrison on an alternative approach. Chief Engineer Harrison joined them, placing a prototype weapon component on the tactical table. The harvesters absorb directed energy, but they still need to obey the laws of physics. We've modified our railgun systems to fire projectiles with kinetic penetrators, physically disrupting their absorption fields rather than feeding them. Will it work? Voss asked. In theory, Harrison admitted. But we need combat data to confirm. You'll get your data soon enough, Voss replied, just as alarms blared across the bridge. Multiple jump signatures detected, announced the sensor officer. 7 unknown vessels approaching from Sector 3. On the main view screen, space itself seemed to distort as 7 massive harvester vessels emerged. Unlike the sleek, elegant designs of human or Marin ships, these were asymmetrical nightmares, their black surfaces rippling with technological growths that resembled cancerous tumors. They arrived earlier than expected, Ilirva whispered, mandibles clicking with anxiety. All ships, defensive formation Delta, Voss ordered. Protect the evacuation transports at all costs. Prepare modified railguns for targeted strikes. The human fleet moved with practiced precision, forming a protective screen between the harvesters and Europa. For several tense moments, nothing happened. "They're scanning us," reported the sensor officer. "Intense energy sweeps across all spectrums." "Let them look," Voss said calmly. "They've never encountered humanity before. Let them see what they're up against." The lead harvester vessel suddenly accelerated toward the human formation, energy weapons charging along its hull. "Evasive maneuvers," Voss ordered. "Weapons free. Target their propulsion systems with kinetic penetrators only." "No energy weapons." The Defiance shuddered as its modified rail guns fired, launching specially designed projectiles at relativistic speeds. The other human vessels followed suit, filling space with a deadly barrage. Most of the projectiles were absorbed or deflected by the harvester's defense fields, but several struck true. The massive alien vessel shuddered, dark fluid-like material leaking from impact points. "Direct hits," reported the weapons officer. "Enemy vessel showing signs of damage." For a moment, the attacking ship seemed to pause, as if surprised. Then all 7 harvester vessels surged forward simultaneously. "They're adapting," Ilurvo warned. "The collective shares information. They're adjusting their defenses." The space battle erupted into chaos. The harvester vessels moved with unexpected agility for their size, energy beams lashing out at the human fleet. 2 frigates exploded under the onslaught, while a destroyer listed with severe damage. The modified weapons were effective but not decisive. For every harvester vessel damage, human ships were being destroyed. "Commander," Engineer Harrison called from the engineering deck, "I've analyzed their response to our attacks. Their adaptation has a pattern. They are shifting their defensive fields to compensate, but there's a 3-second vulnerability after each adjustment." Voss understood immediately. "All ships, coordinated fire pattern Alpha 7. Time your shots to the vulnerability window." The human fleet responded with synchronized precision. Rail guns fired in carefully timed sequences, exploiting the brief moments when harvester defenses recalibrated. One alien vessel shattered under the assault, then another. But the battle was far from won. The remaining harvesters adapted again, changing their attack formation and focusing fire on the Defiance. "Shields at 30%, reported the defense officer as the ship shuddered violently. "We can't withstand another concentrated assault." Voss studied the tactical display, noticing how the harvesters positioned themselves. "They're protecting something. Their central vessel maintains distance and lets the others engage." "The Nexus," Ilurve explained. "It coordinates the others, if destroyed." Voss didn't need to hear more. "All ships, new target designation. Concentrate all fire on the central vessel. Engineer Harrison, I need more power to our forward shields. Divert from non-essential systems." "Already done, Commander," Harrison replied. "And I've made further modifications to our railguns. The next salvo will include electromagnetic pulse generators within the penetrators." "You never mentioned those," Voss said with surprise. "Just finished them. Sometimes humanity works best under pressure, Commander." The Defiance plunged toward the harvester formation, its remaining escorts providing covering fire. The enemy vessels tried to intercept, but the human ships executed maneuvers that seemed to confuse the harvesters' predictive systems. "They understand technology and energy," Ilurve observed. "They do not understand human unpredictability." "Fire everything at the central vessel," Voss ordered as they broke through the defensive screen. The Defiance's weapons unleashed their full fury. The enhanced penetrators struck the harvester nexus precisely where Harrison had calculated its defensive fields would be weakest. The EMP generators detonated on impact, sending cascading disruptions through the alien vessel's systems. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The nexus convulsed, its rippling surface freezing in place. The other harvester vessels suddenly seemed disoriented, their coordinated movements becoming erratic. "They're vulnerable," Voss shouted. "All ships, fire at will." The remaining human vessels concentrated their attacks, methodically dismantling the confused harvester ships. Within minutes, the threat had been neutralized. the void between Jupiter and Europa filled with drifting debris from both sides. "Damage report," Voss requested, surveying her battered bridge. "Extensive damage to decks 5 through 12, reported Lieutenant Ramos. "Shields inoperative. Weapons at 40% capacity. But the evacuation transports are safe, Commander. All civilians accounted for." Voss nodded, feeling the weight of both victory and loss. 3 human vessels destroyed, 4 severely damaged, hundreds of crew lost, but thousands of civilians saved, and the Harvester advance halted. In the aftermath, Engineer Harrison's team boarded the remains of the Nexus vessel, retrieving crucial technology and information. Dr. Wong worked with Ilurva to decode the alien systems, discovering the full extent of the Harvester threat and their vulnerabilities. 1 month later, Commander Voss stood before the United Earth Defense Council again, this time to deliver a different report. "Using the intelligence gathered from the Jupiter engagement, we've tracked the Harvester fleet movements across 3 sectors," she explained. Battle groups Orion and Taurus engaged and destroyed Harvester forces near Saturn and Mars defense perimeters. The modified weapons systems have proven consistently effective. Admiral Chen nodded with approval. "And the remaining Harvester vessels?" "Retreating, Admiral. Our deep space monitoring stations report they've adjusted course away from human space. The message has been delivered. Earth is not a viable target." Ilurva, now officially recognized as the ambassador of the surviving Marins, stepped forward. For countless cycles, the Void Harvesters consumed without resistance. Species fell or folded before them. None stood as humanity has stood. "We protect what's ours," Voss said simply. "And perhaps now, what is others as well," Ilurva suggested. "My people seek new home. Your colonies offer sanctuary. In return, we offer knowledge, technology beyond your current development." Admiral Chen exchanged glances with the council members before responding. "The beginning of a formal alliance, then." "The signal from the void brought warning," Ilurva said, "but it also brought opportunity for both our species." As the council session concluded, Voss found herself once again at the observation window, looking out at Earth. The planet remained peaceful, its population largely unaware of how close they had come to destruction, and how humanity's response had changed their place in the galactic community. "We face outward now," Admiral Chen said, joining her at the viewport. "The Harvesters may return someday, and there are likely other threats in the darkness between stars." "And we'll be ready," Voss replied. "Not just humanity, but all of us together." The emergency transmission that had brought news of danger had unleashed more than just humanity's warships. It had unleashed humanity's greatest strengths: adaptability, determination, and the capacity to forge alliances even in the face of extinction. The stars no longer seemed quite so distant, or the void quite so empty. Humanity had taken its place among the cosmic powers, not through conquest, but through defense of themselves and others. And somewhere in the depths of space, the Void Harvesters retreated, having learned a crucial lesson about the species they had underestimated. Humans don't go quietly into the night.